Fitz dog. Give me a name and a number.
1803, Greg Fitzsimmons, or as they like to say him, Grapefruit Simmons.
Grapefruit Simmons?
Yeah. He was on a radio show once, and someone called it, "Who was that Grapefruit Simmons?" So he does a T-shirt that says that. But you love him. I introduced him to you. He's just such a great guy.
You did not introduce him to me. Joe Rogan introduced him to me.
True.
So
but I
shut your mouth.
I introduced you to his other works so you could consume more of his product instead of just when he's on Joe Rogan. Did you start listening to his podcast?
No.
Okay, thank you. It was actually this episode where they were debating how much beers were. It's weird the military promoting at sporting events. If you think about it, that they're paying.
It's so weird. I never thought about it before, but it's so weird. But it's not weird at all because they do it. Look at Top Gun. One of the biggest movies ever was all an ad for the military.
Dude, I saw the best review saying that Top Gun was a gay movie. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah. Quentin Tarantino does
Look
that.
at the volleyball scene, Maddie.
It's super gay porn.
Oh, no. The whole idea was like that Goose and his whole crew are like this gay crew.
Yeah.
And that Tom Cruise is fighting his gay urges. And that's why the elevator scene, she's dressed like a man. And that's when they start fucking going at it. Because he has that whole scene where they're almost fucking. And then he doesn't.
And so Val Kilmer and they're like the straight frat boys. They don't want anything to do
No,
with
they're all gay.
No, because they're not part of Goose's crew. Goose
Oh, sorry.
is
Yeah,
a
that's
good
right. Yeah,
guy,
Val. Yeah, I guess Val Kilmer. Yeah.
They'd have to be like
I guess,
the
sure.
opposite,
Yeah.
I would imagine, by this logic.
Yes. Sorry.
I don't think that's the case. The same way I don't think The Matrix is a
Trans movie.
trans movie. Maybe the second and the third one, but not the first one.
I don't believe it is either. I believe it's a convenient tale.
I think it's just sci-fi. It's cool. First time and I got sick of it. I haven't watched it. The new ones. Have you watched them all?
I like how
I've seen every single Matrix, yes.
Don't worry.
And you enjoy them? Or
No.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the new one. You've seen the new one?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's almost like doing that then ruins, because I still have some fond memories of the first one.
That's the thing, though. The weird thing about watching the new one, Simon, was that, like, you do have such fond memories of the first one that you want it so bad to be good. Well, even then, I think you still get stuck in the lore of the story of the first one, of what it could have been. No, nothing.
Yeah, it could have been great.
That's what I'm saying. Like
By movie 3,
come on, they could have really, like, the problem with the second.
We know that just doesn't really happen with sequels.
No, of course, but like think about it in a television sense. If the Matrix had been
What
a
about
television,
Lord of the Rings?
like if the Matrix had been a television series, they could have really built that shit up. The problem was they made it. First of all, once they stopped going into the Matrix, like all those Zion scenes.
Yeah,
those were
you're
terrible.
focusing on the wrong end of the
coolness. Yes.
Right? What made this cool was the kung fu and the
Yeah. It was
show
almost,
us what the Matrix is all
It
about.
almost would have been better never seeing Zion and it just being an idea in your head.
Exactly, yep.
You know what I mean? Something that you made up what it
or
looked like.
even
Like,
just make the third movie a little bit heavier in that, but not. You know
Fine,
what
or
I
even
mean? Like,
that could be a good payoff too. Like at the end of the third one, he finally gets to see Zion, what he's been fighting for, and say, but
and it's nothing. That would
it's
be
like a
the big.
shitty little
It's
hovel.
a Mac top. It's a Mac. An old Mac.
It's an 80s
mice
Mac,
on it.
yeah.
Well, that's interesting you say that because he talks about how he can trace his origins to a mud hut in Ireland. And I'm adopted into Irish family and they can too. There's a picture of the mud hut, like 2 generations from my stepfather away from sort of thing.
Oh, I'm sure my grandfather had that same fucking.
And the Irish Catholic way of going was make as many kids as you can, get them out there. Some of them are going to die. We'll see how this goes. And those that have done well as well. It's
I mean, that is the way animals work, right? Like you have these giant litters, and then
100%.
Most of them
natural
don't survive.
selection
Yeah.
takes over. It's like those turtles born on the beach, you know?
What's
Dude,
weird?
there's a lot of birds that'll just like have 5 and be like, oh, this one sucks. Throw it out of the fucking.
Well,
and that's
there are
it.
birds where eagles will kill the weaker one to make sure they get more food. You know what's crazy is there are different species of birds that will lay their eggs in other birds' nests, right? So then the baby hatches and the mother bird, the other mother bird, raises that bird as its own.
Weird. So
And
weird.
that
That's
bird
the
is
opposite.
always
Better than a dumpster.
way bigger than the birds that they're in the nest with, and they end up getting all the food, and
Unrelated. They're
the other
unrelated.
birds don't get enough, which is so interesting. There's one bird that has adapted, Matt, so they have a tattoo on the inside of their mouth so that the mother knows that's one of my birds, that's not one of my birds.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
That
man.
developed over time because that was happening.
Correct,
sort
because
of
it was
thing.
happening so much, and it was fucking with the
That's
bird
nuts.
lineage. Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Joe, I think it's for the first time ever, I remember, shared a serious story about his mother being abused by the dad.
Yeah, I never heard that
he
before.
really,
Right?
Yeah, that was weird.
It
Yeah.
was very intense and serious, and I felt he just felt a level of vulnerability and comfortable with Greg.
I mean, dude, when my dad was married for the third time, he was living in like near Bayshore in the fucking ghetto. And I was only there 4 days a month, every second weekend. And sure enough, one of the 4 days I was there, I wake up to like, they were always fighting. And I mean like domestic fighting, like, but her hitting him too. Like she was a fucking psycho. And sure enough, I wake up at like 12:30 in the morning and they're both drunk. The cops are there. They take my dad away.
Oh my God.
Call my mom. My mom had to pick us up. And my mom's just like, this is like, why do you guys even come here? You know what I mean? It was fucking terrible. It was terrible.
The cops always took me away. They never had to take my parents away. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. It's weird, like fourth marriage, not a good thing. You know, like I'm so good at it, I like to do it all the time. Or
You know what,
third marriage or-
Kamar, the weirdest thing though was like I spent most of the time with my mom's who like raised, like we had like a very normal, like lived in the old Ottawa South, like nice house. And then just on the weekends, like going to my dad's and just slumming it. Like I didn't have a bed at my dad's ever. My dad never got me a bed.
Did you want to go there? Did he want you to go there? Could you
Well, yeah,
have
he
stayed
was.
at your mom's?
I mean, I probably could have, but that felt like a dick move, right? Like the guy only gets to see me 4 days a month. I'm gonna go out and
go there and fuck.
go there and
Treat
fucking
you like
torture
shit 4 days a
myself.
month.
Yeah, like fuck. But
You
no, I
need
was
a
just
time or
I was
something?
just saying that's it's tough on kids. Divorce in general without domestic
Yeah, yes.
is very difficult on kids.
Whose side are you on? And you just love everyone. You want everyone to be happy.
Well, it's
And
crazy.
you're too young to you don't understand relationships at all. You're so young that all you do is you're like, well, this is my fault, which is so stupid. Like I remember saying that for years, like, oh, my parents got divorced because of me, and it's like, no, it was just two people that shouldn't have been together, got together, made
It
kids.
had
and-
nothing to do with you.
Precisely, yeah, zero.
I mean,
but it
maybe.
now has everything to do with you because they're fighting over you.
Oh, yeah.
They have to decide what do we got to do with you.
Well, and dude, I remember contentious times where like my dad would drop us off like late. You know, it was like Sunday night at 9 p.m. Like that was like
You had to be there.
yeah,
or
had
go
to drop,
jail or
and he'd
something.
be not go to jail, but it was like you got to bring the kids, and like he'd be like, well, we were at a movie, so we're back at 9:15, you know, and they'd get into it at the door, and I'd have to sit there, and it'd be like, go to hell, well, I'll meet you there first, you know, just like that.
It's crazy when you
That's what you
hear.
got to joke about if you want to when you get back on stage.
Yeah.
That's what's funny.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
clean.
Family shit, yeah.
Yours.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you hear about parents that make the kid choose. I never understood that. Like it's a kid.
No, but they do it like mandates with
How
better
could
presents.
you ever?
My parents didn't do that. My mom was just like, I'm taking these fucking kids, and you can
Well, that
show
was
up and
probably
try
a
to fight for it.
no-brainer, you know what I
Well,
mean?
looking back, listen, hindsight's 2020, but yeah, glad she did. I didn't have a bed. Dude, I remember sleeping on a lawn chair at my dad's for a year. A lawn chair that fully reclined. I'm not
You
even
should
kidding.
pay someone to describe these times you talk about it.
Wow, what a shot.
You should pay someone just to
That's his second one of those today.
It's crazy.
write down every time you talk about your dad, and you'll have your book written for you.
Well, he's a piece of shit. He keeps...
Here it comes. Let's
No,
go.
that was a replay of the same one. man.
Oh, was it? Okay, my bad. I was like, holy
The
fuck, this
chances
guy's
of
on
that happening
fire. Yeah.
twice.
No, Kamar, my dad, I told him, I was like, I have a studio. Come in here. I was like, I won't release anything till you die. But I was like, I need to get your side of this. We need to
Yeah.
we need to have this on camera so that it's like documented.
And what has he said?
Well, at first his answer was a staunch fucking no. And then he finally was like, you know what? I don't actually see the point of not doing it.
What do you have
That's
to
what I said.
lose?
I was like, listen, I'm not going to, you have my word that it will never see the light of day until you're gone. So
And you might resist that.
what do you mean? I would not, there's no point in releasing it with him alive. I wouldn't want to put him in any sort of,
And but that way he can perjure himself or whatever. Be really honest.
no, he can be, that's it. He can just, we could let it fly. You know what I mean?
Wow, and build that up for a pre-buy. How to make the money? How to make the money?
This fucking guy. Yeah.
Then Joe talked about his. That worked out really well. How that went. His mean Catholic teacher.
Yeah.
Which was what Mamet talked about.
Yeah.
As I said, the foreshadowing.
What about you, Kumar? I wanted to ask you earlier, but you sounded like you were going to bring it up again. So did you have any teachers that made an impact on you, positive or negative? I'm sure you had it both ways, right?
I had it, yeah. The only one I remember was in military school. So I already had my back against the wall. I never really go to classes. I didn't know any of my teachers, really.
Okay.
And he liked me, and he would take me off campus. I've told this before, and you guys thought I was molested. He bought me soccer. He bought me
I
soccer.
was immediately thinking that this time.
He bought me soccer shoes.
Oh, for sure. I was. Yeah. Okay. Keep
He
going.
took me to Christian rock concerts.
Did this guy spit in your asshole and you're leaving it out? What's going on here?
But it was just like you're on military school, so any reason to get off base or do something when you're 16 is like...
Even if you got to get your dick sucked.
Or you have to suck a dick. Whatever. It's live life.
Fair enough.
But he was super religious
Yeah.
and would have long conversations with me, respectfully.
In regards to
debate,
religion?
and me not believing in it.
Oh, so he couldn't turn you no matter how hard he tried.
Listen to me. But he wasn't ever trying to turn me, would just counterpoint what I said, and just taught me that an adult who's in charge of me can talk to me like an equal.
Like an adult and not talk down to you. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Not say what I'm saying is stupid, like be respectful of me. And
So you're just saying that, but... Okay, so you're saying they made a difference in the sense that was the first adult that treated you like an equal.
That's the only thing I can remember. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I definitely had... The worst part is that I definitely had far more teachers that put a bad taste in my mouth than a good taste in my mouth. That's for sure.
I remember Ms. Zadow in English was like, how do you expect to pass this class? And I was like, dig in and do well on the exam. And she's like, oh, you plan to pass this class this year? And that was the last time I went to that class. Like, it was so like...
And that's the thing. That's so demoralizing to do. Like, dude, I think I've told the story before. Grade 9 geography. Miss King, I went back at the end of the year and I looked. Both exams and one of the major things you write, she gave me 49s on 3 of them.
Why not give the kid a 51?
Well, and I remember my one of my summer school teachers was like, for you to get 49s from someone, like that person hated you.
That's one of the other problems I had. I swear to you, in my mind's eye, there's no difference in a D and an A. We're just here to pass, right? Who cares if I pass with flying colors? I passed. Let me go. Like, I got through.
I showed up.
Just passing was good. It didn't seem like aptitude on being at the top of the class, man. And it just didn't. I couldn't fucking care less. And I thought 50s. Thank you. I wasn't embarrassed. I was like, cool, man. I didn't try that hard, and we're keeping this chain going to get out of here.
I remember I had a teacher, Kumar, that said straight up first day, he was like, listen, if you don't ever show up for this class, but you ace the exam, I'll pass you. Like he's like, if you never show up and you show up to the exam and you get 100, I'll pass you with 100. I'll pass you with your exam mark.
Only if you get 100?
No. He was like, if you get a 97, you get the 97. He goes, you get whatever your mark is. Like if that's how you want to roll. He said, first of all, this isn't an enriched class, so most of you need to learn whatever I'm going to put out there. But he was like, honest to God, if you think you've got this, then all the power to you.
I wish I had that.
Well, I remember thinking to myself, like, I respect that at least, because he's saying, listen, if you don't think I have anything to offer in the way of teaching, vamonos, and listen, if you get a 58, then fine, you get a fucking 58. But I learned stuff from him. Like, that was a class I showed up to. But I just also remember, like, thinking, it's because I respect this guy that I probably showed up.
That sounds super interesting. I got to the point where I was just, you had to put your name on an exam, and you had to sit in the room for an hour. We put my name on the exam and turn it over and walk out at 59 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
Did you have any teachers that you hated or were super cool?
I had tons of teachers that I hated, and I can't think of any teacher where I was like, this teacher is so cool that they changed my life or anything.
No, we weren't saying necessarily like oh captain, my captain type shit, but I'm just saying, like, do you remember like liking a teacher to the point where you can right now say their name? Like, I'm not saying you have to say their name, but like where you could remember, like for me, I had one at Gloucester, my like 4th high school, my business teacher, Mr. Call. He was a good teacher who actually like got you engaged. And he was like a nice, fun guy who
I mean, I liked like my drama teacher, but like, how can you be you're
bad
teaching
drama
drama?
teacher? Yeah,
you're
that's
teaching a fun
yeah.
subject. Like
That's like
if
being
you
like
have
my gym teacher
a
was awesome.
history teacher who like makes history interesting for you. That's a whole different
Ronnie
deal.
did that.
I did not ever have that. I had a history teacher who made history more boring than history had to be. You know what I mean?
Oh well, dude, did you guys have Mr. Chin for science?
Yeah, he's the word, dude.
Like one of.
Biology should be super interesting. Chemistry, super boring. But biology, that should be really fun stuff. He ruined it.
Oh,
man.
dude, you
no
could be
personality.
asleep.
Ruined it.
You could be asleep in 5
And
minutes
that
in
should
any one of his
that
classes.
should fucking tell you something, Matt, because I'm what, 10 years old? No, not that much, but I'm
You're like 15 years older than me.
I'm
yeah.
like 7 years older than 5 years. He was still there. He shouldn't be
He's
there.
still there, I bet.
2 generations later, you know? He was old when he taught me. He wasn't a young guy.
Yeah.
It's not like I said, "Oh, this hip Mr. Chin."
But even then, when you mentioned it, you know what I found? Like, I found the older teachers were usually the more chill ones. It was the young ones that were trying to pull a power trip.
The ones I remember, in
Yeah.
all fairness,
Yeah.
were ones I remember not because they were good teachers, but because they were like weirdos, like Aldwinkle. You know, like there's a guy.
Dude,
I
the
have only
fact
fond
that the
memories
fact
of.
that that guy was a teacher at a school, I've never seen anyone.
He was a swinger. Almost,
He
eh?
was a pedo. There's no other.
Whoa.
Okay, fine. Listen, if he never touched a kid, I don't mean it. I'm not saying he actually touched
he
kids.
was a
I'm saying
weirdo.
if you saw a mugshot of that man and there was no crime at the bottom, your first guess is Kitty Diddley.
He was my tennis coach, and okay, I swear to God, this actually happened. Okay, so the year is maybe 1998 or something.
Okay.
We're at a tennis tournament. I'm waiting to play my match. We're watching one of our girls play another school's girl.
Okay.
He is the coach of our team.
Mm-hmm.
He is a 50-some-year-old man, and he
I love where this is
shouted,
going.
"Make the fat bitch run!" And I was standing right next to him and started kind of skirting my way that way. You know what I mean? It was so fucking embarrassing. Everybody looked over like it was. Anyways,
Dude, listen, we're from a generation, if there's any younger listeners, I remember a teacher in grade 8. One of the girls in my class was wearing like a dress. And again, this is not when kids were dressing slutty at that age. She was just wearing like a normal, like long dress. And he put a ruler, a meter stick in between her legs and slapped both of her knees apart.
what?
Yeah, dude, I remember we were all like, well, this doesn't seem right.
But no phones.
Yeah.
No quick way to.
Well, no one's, but also, I lived in a generation where no one believed you.
But if you had phones, I'm not saying you had a perversion.
If
to,
you
like,
could have proved it.
No, and that's
That
what I'm saying,
person
though.
loses
There
their
was
job.
no proof back then because no one believed you. If the cops took you home, your parents weren't, like, on your side.
what did you do?
Yeah, oh, yeah. That was it. It was always, yeah, you fucking idiot.
I don't know why. I used to have a teacher in grade 5. His name was Monsieur Levere. And he used to give us popcorn every Friday if you were good. Mm-hmm. And he had these really hairy hands, and he was always sweaty, and he'd reach into the bag to
Oh,
give you the
God.
popcorn, and it would literally stick to
Oh,
his finger. Yeah, it was
God.
fucking disgusting. Just speaking of bad teachers.
I was talking to someone. You know, when you went to restaurants, there was the communal mint bowl.
Of course.
Like the pastel-y, soapy mints.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude.
like some guy would put his hand in there after picking his nose, and then you go like, yeah, I'll
do
take 2 of those.
do
too.
you remember when Wendy's had the salad bar?
They still do probably.
No.
in America.
They do. Oh, maybe in America.
They don't
yeah.
in America. I watched a whole thing on fast food, failures
Yeah.
or whatever. But I remember the Wendy's salad bar.
There's a robot server at a sushi bar here in
I
Ottawa.
said that. I said that last
That's
week.
what I
Yeah.
learned from you.
Yeah.
That's
That's where I learned from you.
the future.
It would have
We're
been better
talking
if you had
about
said
the
there's a
past.
gay robot server in Canada, like inembellished it a
Oh,
bit. You know?
broken telephone, how it's come back.
Made it more relatable for himself.
And shitty part is it's racist.
Obviously.
A cool thing would be a history of court jesters who
Well,
haven't
what-
run for 3 weeks and they say the wrong thing and the king just kills him. And just the fact that the king was there, that guy just... He looked at me funny, didn't he? He was like, no, I don't think he looked... No, he didn't.
No,
No, you're dead
yeah.
too. Take this guy out and that guy out.
Everyone dies.
Like, which court jester had the longest run of just killing every night with his funny outfit and ukulele?
Well, you see court jesters like that, but there also must have been like comedian guys who were just friends with the king, who,
Till they
made him laugh.
Till they
you
said
know?
something that
Yeah.
wasn't funny.
They probably had
said something that
a
wasn't
lot
funny.
of power, actually. The cool court jester
I bet he went through
to
a lot
influence
of them.
the king.
I bet
yeah.
the kings went through a lot of them. They didn't live that long, but it's just interesting, like how long reigns were, say, 500 years ago.
You never know, though. They might have found, like, I agree, they probably went through a ton, but they probably found one that they were, like, you know, on a good stretch, like in a good mood for 6 months. And that one,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like,
and I would love if those stories exist to document that.
yeah.
I think there were probably some that had like 30-year runs with the same king.
Did you watch?
Maybe they had a little thing going on the side.
Did you
know?
watch Taboo?
No, you've asked me this a million times.
I thought you.
No,
said
you watched it
you'd
because
watch
you're
it.
in love with fucking
Tom
what's
Hardy.
his name.
No,
Is that
we're
wrong?
everyone's in
No,
love with
it's
him.
do
that
your
wrong?
do your own thing,
Yeah.
man.
But okay, so in it, one of the characters is the prince, who's just disgusting, has syphilis, like, but he's the prince, like it doesn't matter, like he's just disgusting, like dying, you know what I mean? Because they have no science or anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's just fucking all the girls and eating all the food and just pigging out and just fat and gross. So I don't think kings necessarily live a long time. They live like that.
You know that disgusting looking orc in The Hobbit?
I haven't seen The Hobbit.
He was based on Harvey Weinstein.
That's incredible.
Because-
Literally.
Yeah, because Harvey Weinstein wasn't gonna let the like second 2 movies go or something. There was some he stopped them from doing something they wanted, and in retribution they made the orc look like him.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
All 4 hobbits admitted it.
They talked about Joe. Joe was
Elijah
yeah.
and the crew.
3 out of 4 hobbits agreed.
His dick is weird. 3 out of 4 hobbits agreed.
Joe was dating a girl who was like, I'm gonna be an actress, like in movies. You're doing TV. He's like, who the fuck are you kidding? You're not doing anything.
I'm not going to lie. I went to acting school, and I can't tell you how many people had that attitude. Like, we're talking about people that are trying to learn to act that were like, well, I would never do a commercial.
But is it like play, movie?
Well, no, there's a lot of different, like,
Commercial.
listen, I was in a specifically acting for film course, which is kind of a joke because if you want to learn to act, you're supposed to go on stage. That's true acting.
Yeah.
Like the saying in the industry,
net.
the saying in the industry is that the stage is the actor's medium and film is the director's medium, right?
You can make anyone look good, sort of thing.
Yeah. So, but
You're
I can't
naked
tell
on
you.
stage.
I can't tell you how many of these young kids were like, "I would never do a commercial," and our teachers would be like, "Oh, trust me. If you want to be an actor, you're going to do whatever the fuck is going to pay, and you're going to take."
All the successful comedians in Toronto are successful commercial actors.
Of course, of
And
course.
It's hard to say which one makes more money. It's not. But the
Listen, sorry to cut you off. If you're on a very successful national campaign that runs for a long time,
Hundreds of thousands.
you are getting residuals out the fucking ass. One of my teachers was in a Verizon ad, and he was like, unfortunately, it was a March Madness ad, so it only ran for 1 month. But he was like, the money I made off this thing for 1 month was fucking staggering.
Our friend's cousin
the
still
Canadian
makes
Tire
money
guy's been doing it
off.
for like 15 years.
Oh, that guy's making
Still
bank.
doing
the
it.
A&W guy, that guy makes bank
guy,
for sure.
well,
Like,
he works there, isn't he? Just a manager, and he got sucked into a contract. And he's,
It's like, have you seen those ads with the President Choice guy?
yeah, of course, Gavin.
And
he
he's,
owns-
he's
Yeah, he
out,
owns it,
He's
yeah.
out there talking like he's a normal person. First of all,
a billionaire.
you're the president.
yeah, you
Of choice.
You're the yeah. I never thought about
You
that.
decide choice for everyone.
Have you heard about that?
Okay,
Have you heard that as a joke?
no. That's you,
Edit
man.
that out. Edit that out.
Well, you can also, because I will never use
You're on
it.
fire, Simon.
You can have my YouTube joke because that is really funny.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But just speaking of Loblaws for a second, were we speaking of Loblaws?
You were, yeah.
Okay,
Gavin.
good. Big good.
What's
good
his
segues.
last name?
Who fucking President's
Weston.
Choice?
Weston.
Gavin Choice.
Weston. No, we were talking about representatives and like sponsors for.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, have you seen this whole thing that Loblaws is no longer carrying any Frito-Lay product?
That's like a month ago.
Well, it's still going on right
Okay.
now. And do you know this, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go into like Loblaws right now, or Shoppers Drug Mart for that
Yeah,
matter,
and
where I do a
and the
lot of my
chips- the
shopping.
chips are
and it's
empty.
just all President's Choice chips.
Yeah.
And they're garbage. You know this. It's not like they're comparable. You're talking about a lesser quality chip. So
Simon's not lying.
I've been trying to figure out who to get mad at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it seemed like a pretty cut and dry situation at the beginning. I was like, this is a Loblaw's fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have the choice, sell the chip or don't sell the chip. Right now, you're fucking with me, sell the chip.
Yeah.
Then we started talking about it a little bit. So this is the situation. So Loblaws demands a certain fee from all of their suppliers to have any shelf space at Walmart.
Okay.
Or at Loblaws.
Yeah.
And Frito-Lay or whatever, they just did a price hike. So Frito-Lay said, look, we're already haven't done a price hike in whatever many years. But we can't afford this. We're going to have to charge more if you're going to charge more. That type of deal, you know what I mean? And it's just two companies holding strong to their guns. But meanwhile, both of them are losing massive amounts of money. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting.
I love
But
that.
I think Loblaws is to blame in the end, now that I think about it, because just take less for the... That we did it all the time in our business, my old business. You know what I mean?
Loss leaders especially.
Well, and if you didn't get you could only sell it for what the market would abide. You know what I'm saying?
Making a bundle off of butter.
Either way, though, they make their money by getting you through the door. You need to go for chips. You leave with, like Kamar said, butter and dog treats.
And that's why they haven't caved yet, Matt, because nobody is actually going there for chips. And once they're there getting their groceries, they're just going to buy whatever chips are there out of convenience. But in the end, they're just offering less convenience.
I get a food truck and sell chips
Fuck
in the
Loblaws.
parking lot.
Actually, I don't know. Fuck
On your way
Frito-Lay.
out, just grab a bag.
Frito-Lay truck.
We don't know who to fuck at this point, but somebody should be fucked.
All that to say,
Yeah, sorry, move on. Bad form.
The TV really has maybe even surpassed the movie as medium. Like in the last 5 years, is your best form of entertainment a great movie or a great TV series?
I think TV it's more powerful than movies are now.
Yeah. Especially when they just know they have the time to write the story out.
Well, you can build characters. Listen, it's very, very difficult to build an intriguing character in an hour and a half, or even if you're being generous, 2.5 hours.
I don't watch those movies anymore.
And you can get me to watch a lot more crap on TV than you can get me to watch on a movie. You know, like it's a bigger deal to go to the movies.
But see, Kamar, that's a weird stretch too. Is like you'll binge watch like a whole season of something, but you can't sit through a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
See, that's a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can start and stop it when he wants.
You can start and stop the movie too when you want.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
not in the theaters.
I finally finished Nightmare Alley.
Okay.
What a crock of shit.
But what a payoff, right?
Oh my god.
It's a great ending.
I wish I never talked to you. It's here comes.
It's a great.
And you know when you keep pulling up the thing to see how long.
Yep.
Okay,
Come on. Listen,
8 minutes left.
I told you
This better
that
come
whole
soon.
movie, all 2.5 hours is all for that one line.
Too much.
I know, it's too much. I agree.
Have you seen Moon Fallen?
No, I refuse to watch that.
Oh, Simon.
I heard it's a whole hunk of
The last
shit.
40 minutes is the best.
It's a whole.
The last 40 minutes is the best sci-fi movie ever.
Really?
When they show you what's actually inside the moon.
Okay, I'll watch it.
The beginning is like take Armageddon. Any movie about the world.
Yeah, the moon is like a spaceship or something, right?
It's a superstructure.
Superstructure.
And wait till you see who built it. Wow, dude, it's crazy. But
Hey, I'll watch it.
it's taking all those movies, Armageddon, every patriotic movie, taking all the worst parts out of them, throwing away the good parts, and putting in a movie. But the director, whoever, the last 40 minutes, what they think is the actually inside the moon, and what it is.
They made a space movie. They ejected Will Smith and Bruce Willis, and what we were left with was Moonfall.
Halle Berry and that guy who's like, you know who he is, and he's all right. But like, just his son,
that guy who you know who he is, he's all right.
You know when they just introduce characters that sort of should be important, but they just gloss over everything, and then now you accept this person as a part of the movie. They just sort of bum rush you with everyone, and you just sort of accept everyone's relationship. Like, okay, I guess they like each other, even though they've had one scene together.
You're talking about Patrick Wilson?
Patrick Wilson, he's
that's
awesome.
That's who you referred to.
Who's that? Let me see.
It's this guy.
Yeah.
It's the poor man's guy from
Chris Pratt.
Jurassic
Yeah, yeah.
Park. Yeah,
poor man's
thank
Chris
you.
Pratt.
Poor man's
He's
Chris
the wash-up
Pratt.
astronaut that everyone thinks is...
Really, really nice guy. You can tell by his acting. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Salt of the earth.
Humans made AI. AI turned on them.
Stop. Hey, stop. You, Kamar, you won me over at the
Yeah,
moon
buddy,
was a
yeah.
superstructure.
Yeah.
Simon, is that gentleman American?
Are you?
No, the guy on the guy you just pulled up on your phone.
Yeah, he's American.
Are you sure? Let me see.
I mean, I can.
I just want to double check. Kamar, do we not have a movie game? You don't.
It's a horrible movie. Oh, it's about to come up.
American actor, director, and singer. He began his career in 1995 starring in Broadway musicals. Matt, he's a real actor.
Yeah.
Two-time Tony Award nominee for his roles in Full Monty and Oklahoma.
Oh, he's a real actor.
He's a real actor.
This guy's
I
like
can
a
tell you
fucking-
some of his movies if you want to hear them.
No, please don't.
The
He was in
Conjuring,
Insidious, Insidious
Moonfall,
2.
The Conjuring 2, The Conjuring 3, Insidious 2,
Yeah, I told you. He's doing a
Aquaman,
shitload of terrible
The
films.
Watchmen. Oh, that's right. He was Owlman.
Go ahead, Kamar. I'm
That
so
was
sorry.
that was a
This-
great
this-
role
this
for
is
him.
what takes up the time. I tell you.
Anyways. This is the only interesting part about this podcast.
Greg got a great line. He goes, "Yeah, you assaulted a coworker and then won Employee of the Year.
Yeah.
Like that's not supposed to happen." Which is what they talked about. Do you think if they went back in time and did their act, it would just be the greatest thing ever, or it'd be like too much for people? I think it depends on the comedian.
What are you saying?
Kamar, it's
You
actually
understand
worse.
what
than,
I'm saying, right?
You know what I was just thinking though? It's actually worse than that because it would be like, remember your experience
Which one?
on stage at work?
Yes.
Okay, so think about it like this. Think about it like you don't even work there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't work there. They're paying you a corporate gig. You show up, and one of their employees slaps the shit out of you, and then they win Employee of the Year. That's really what it's like. Like you're an invited. Like Chris Rock is not really in that circle.
Oh, they're all saying that's Hollywood.
Fine, whatever.
Yes.
He is not an employee of the Oscars. He
Is
is
that
a
right?
special guest
Yes, that's what I'm
presenter who's doing them not a favor, but like they're lucky to have Chris Rock. He is royalty in comedy.
Like I said, I think every comedian should boycott the Oscars for the next 5 years. I'd be like, simply put, you guys can't protect us. You're supposed to invite us here.
That'd be good to see if so people could make jokes.
What they should do is next year, the host of the Oscars should be The Rock. That's it. That's all. Period.
No, but Simon, just think about it. If no comedian even writes for the Oscars, think of how dull and shitty and boring the Oscars would be.
Well, at the very least, they should make Rock the presenter because nobody's going to bum rush the stage.
If they traveled back to 1950 and did their act, would it blow everyone's mind and just
No.
be the biggest thing ever, or be just too much to handle?
What are you saying? Sorry?
He was saying, imagine I went back to Lenny Bruce age and did my act and just been like, this is the greatest thing ever. That's what he surmised would happen.
Joe?
I think it would be too much.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Like someone would shoot him.
it's a build-up to...
Someone
yeah.
in the audience would shoot him. Like,
Oh,
you can't
they'd
say
put him
that.
in jail.
Or
They'd
tear him
think he
to
was
shreds.
crazy.
He wouldn't make it off the stage.
There
that
weren't
night.
even people yelling on stage back then. The getting angry on stage wasn't a thing.
Like the amount of times someone has said motherfucker since the first motherfucker was set on stage. When the first motherfucker was on stage, it was like,
Whoa, we can do that?
humping his stool would have had him thrown in the clink.
The clink.
it'd be cool if it happened. Then Greg tried to tell his story of getting knocked out, and Joe just hijacked it and told it for him, which I thought was very rude. I mean, we've all heard it before, where he goes, he's got to get back on stage to the spot for the check drops, and he's like, who's next? After he just got the shit beat over the first...
He told the story.
I felt Joe hijacked it. Then they started talking
I mean,
about
you did listen to this episode twice, so you would know.
Cohen. I did not. Simon, you're calling me out. And we should have... we haven't...
He dead faced me. Simon, you're calling me out.
We haven't talked about the UFOs yet, which is what we're supposed to
Oh,
leave
yes.
with.
We were supposed to leave with the UFO, so sandwich it in right now.
They talked...
No, unfortunately, like Matt Damon,
We're out of time. I will fucking rip this whole place apart.
No, they talked about...
I will rip this whole place apart.
They talked about the Cohen brothers, and then they talked about Steve Buscemi, and they talked about in Fargo, the scene where they're fucking humping in front of TVs.
Yeah.
And it's my deal.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come.
Oh, I got it.
For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE
Remember, Simon and Matt go head-to-head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week, we're doing a Coen Brothers classic, Fargo, based on a true story, which then turned into a quite
It is not
successful.
based on a true story.
It is based on a true
It absolutely is not based on a true
Are you
story.
sure?
Check it right now.
I think it is based on a true
basically
story.
based on a
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
No, I will bet you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to check right now.
Please do. Please do.
I am. Is Fargo.
It is not. It is. Well, you'll see. You'll read it out loud, and then we'll have the right answer.
Fargo is not based on a true story, but it is inspired by one. That's what I meant.
Inspired,
We were both
inspired,
looking
inspired,
for
inspired.
inspired.
It's actually inspired by loosely inspired by multiple stories, but again, it is not a true story.
Well, it would be a true... Like, the kidnappers were one thing. The guy who worked at his car dealership was another thing.
Yeah, they were just pieced
put- yeah,
together
yeah.
from other true stories to make one giant true story. I think we're right, Kumar. But anyway.
I think we're right, too, Simon.
Really, because the first line of that said Fargo is not based on a true story.
Well, he's taking this
but
one
is,
to the bank, eh?
is
That's right.
inspired
Stickler for
by
details.
a true
Yeah.
story. So we're right there.
It's the same thing,
We're
though.
right
Listen,
there.
hear me out.
Shit
They're
happened.
not.
Just
They're
hear me
not
out.
holding hands.
Hear
but
me out.
they're-
It's the same thing with the show. The show says at the beginning, this is based on a true story or inspired by true. It's not. The show isn't either.
No, I think the show actually says these events are based on a movie which is inspired by true events.
Or it could be the Bernstein Bears.
It's a.
But I feel really right.
It's a Manduble
I feel
effect.
I'm going to do blame, but
Yeah,
I feel
with
right.
you.
I feel
I'm
right.
with you, brother.
I
Airball.
feel right.
I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of this though, he went like this, Matt. Like I didn't understand what movie game we were doing, and he was telling me off camera, so I didn't seem like
Yeah,
a chump.
yeah.
Thanks,
Nope,
man.
it was all on camera.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Nobody watches.
But he looked like, what? Why did he press a button? So that's why I
No,
thought he
no,
did,
I
right?
got it.
Obviously directed by Joel Cohen, written by Joel and Ethan Cohen, produced by Ethan Cohen, starring Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Harvey Presnell, and Peter Stormare. Who's the weird guy? We split the car.
Peter Stormare.
I know we're going to split the car. Here's $10,000. He could have just given him the right amount. Whatever he wanted. Okay, fine. Here's $30,000 to split the
Yeah,
car.
and just be done with the whole thing. Well, that's why you don't fuck over a maniac.
Oh, we square.
I got a year if you got one.
I think it's my
got
most
a year.
iconic movie line. Okay, shoot.
I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but I have 98.
And I have 94.
1996. 2 and 2 on either side.
That's too bad.
Okay.
Well, this would be interesting.
Now, how much did Fargo cost?
1996. I
make?
can say that over and over again. Think about how much it cost in 1996. They're a lot cheaper before 2000. 2000 and on.
You stop giving us the fucking hints.
I'm not giving. That was.
You're
what I was
leaning into a hint here.
Hi, listeners. This is a movie game. If you guys like this kind of content, join the Patreon. We do lots of movie games in the Patreon. Actually, we rarely do, but we could. Could do a whole thing of movie games. And everyone in this, well, I guess Steve Buscemi knew who he was, but Frank Stormer was his name.
Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare. He's the biggest character actor ever.
Yeah, I served him.
No way.
in Ottawa,
And was
yeah.
he super personable?
Yeah, really nice guy.
Because he seems like a serial
really
killer
nice guy. Yeah.
from that role alone.
Well, he's
always
kind of
a
been
bad-
typecast as that like cold Eastern or like just European.
He's
like
good at it, man.
yeah, he is good at it. You ready, Simon?
I am.
Okay, I said it cost $12.5 million to make, and it made $127.4.
I said 11 and 87.
Simon, I think we got to give it to you. $7 million to make.
Okay, I'm within 5.
$60.6 million.
I'm not within 5.
You don't have to be within
50
5 on that
50
one. We'll give
million.
you that one, Simon.
All
50
right,
million. That's
winner.
20 million off.
I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close. I'm right there.
That's it. Hey, we got a sort of winner.
There we go. We got a winner.
Like that scene where he's driving, smoking the cigarette
Yeah.
to go shoot the woman in the back.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is Frances McDormand pregnant going,
It's the scene where he's out in the
I know.
snow to bury the gun.
Buscemi does that.
And you're just,
To bury the money.
to bury the money. And in his like socks or whatever, there's something about that scene that is so like makes you feel what he's feeling.
Well, it's because he's all bloodied and fucking.
everything about it
Yeah.
is just, it's
Rip
like,
the guy off and take your chances with the mill or whatever. I think it was $1 million. Anyways, It's the movie game. That's another one. It's a classic. If
Should
you
have
haven't seen it, check it
fireworks
out.
for when somebody wins.
We got to close this
Or a
down, Kamar.
gong or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Sacha
with
Baron-
the aliens right now.
Okay, fine.
Aliens.
Aliens, and then we'll wrap
Joe
it up.
said he is now not believing about the aliens because the government's telling him
Yeah,
about
he believes in aliens, but he doesn't believe any of the shit the government
it.
is showing.
Because of the Gulf of Tonkin, because of JFK, because
I
of
mean,
the Vietnam
I
War.
can't blame him for having that opinion. Sorry,
But
go
I
ahead.
said to you it was ironic that Joe for years was like, would just give anything for the government to admit there's aliens, and now he gets his way, and he's like,
but isn't that the way it always is
yeah, of
with
course.
everything, right?
Listen, he's
Like, we
human.
want-
I'm not sitting here like Joe's a fucking. I'm just saying it's funny. That's all.
I'll take you a step back. You don't find anything out from the government, right? You find it some sort of news release.
That's right.
They
It's
release
always
it
a
You
leak.
don't go to the government website and go, oh, are they up to that? It's disseminated information.
Yeah.
So we can think that anything you see on TV isn't maybe what it seems. And I always take it back to this Sphinx and the pyramids.
Believe
They have-
none of what you hear and half of
But
what
they
you
have
see.
nothing to do with each other. The story is they have something to do with each other. That's not true. It's
No.
like we're on a foundation of lies
Yes.
everywhere, man.
Yes,
And-
agreed.
And it makes us confused.
and it makes us confused. Yeah,
And so he's
Your best
saying,
bet is to not care.
that there's just so little you can do about it, anyways.
I think that's a
that
very
unle-
powerful position,
Well, this
Matt.
is the position I think you should take, and I can't tell you what to do. But it'll probably be the one that causes you the least amount of grief, which is you should question absolutely everything. But if anything is making you like viscerally upset, you're in the wrong business because you have no
You have no
chance
power.
of changing anything. So to let it bother you in any way is such a horrendous waste of time. You know what I'm saying?
You know
like,
those-
believe in conspiracy theories. It's as long as it's fun for you. But the second it doesn't become fun, like you cannot change them. It is so. The things that are wrong, the things that make these conspiracies are so inherently part of the systems that drive each and everything we do. Like,
Simon, you know those graphs?
you'll be long gone before shit. Sorry, Matt. You know, you and your children will be long gone before the tiniest modicum of change is ever made. Sorry, go ahead.
You know those graphs where it's like, it would be like a box and it would be like, do you care about conspiracies? And then yes is the line going over here and no would be the one going over here. So it'd be like, do you believe in conspiracies? Yes. Are you a billionaire? If the answer is no, it should be right to, you shouldn't give two shit. You can't change it. You're never going to get
Yeah.
to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Like,
So all I'm saying is like, again, I love conspiracies. I think they're hilariously fun, and it's really cool to find out like all the crazy shit the government has done.
or what people are making up.
But if you think like for 1 second that I'm going to go out and protest something, or like I don't have the bandwidth, as Joe puts it, like, and to me, because you can't do anything about it, you are just, it's just another, it's
just another thorn in your
just
side.
another crutch. Man.
I think I could call on you, and I know you show up if it was to protest the globe, though.
I wouldn't.
It
I
was time to put boots on the ground, Simon.
Kamar, I'm all for take people going into Middle Earth.
Protest
but
the
am I
globe.
going to go protest the globe? Never.
Simon, when I call upon you, you don't think about it now.
Space is fake. Yes. But am I going down to Parliament Hill with
gotta
a
hold the
sign?
line.
Never.
I just love the thought of that too. Like, what change do you think you're making? Imagine that you're standing out in front of Parliament Hill in the cold. The sign says "Space is fake," hoping that people honk. Like, yeah, that guy knows.
But
Like,
I'm like, Simon, they're going to arrest me because I'm the only one out there. But if you're there,
Yeah.
they can't
They
arrest
can't
us
take
all.
both of us. I just have to be faster than you, and I probably won't get arrested.
Simon's
Okay.
bringing Kamar
It's
gas.
like that whole bear thing, Kamar. That's like you're supposed to walk with a friend in the woods who's slower than you are.
Surprisingly enough, there's just a little bit more. We can do that on podcast. I mean, I thought this was a good one for a guy who's been on so many times.
Back to the UFOs for a second, because I will agree with Joe on one thing,
Yeah.
is that the government doesn't just decide to give information without having some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally with him there. What that reason is remains to be seen. It could be like he's saying it's just fake dissemination, or it could be because what some people believe, that they want money. So
wait a
they
second.
need to have a threat in order to have funds to fight said threat. And if that threat is imaginary, then all the more money they have to do whatever the fuck they want with.
When you say fake disinformation, that's sort of redundant, right?
Did I say fake disinformation?
Well, that's what I heard, but you understand what fake disinformation, so it's
But I don't think I
it's
said fake
real.
disinformation.
Play back the tape.
Play back the tape.
I don't even. In what context? What was I
You're
talking
saying
about?
whether the military is putting out fake disinformation.
Fake information.
Fake
That's what I meant. Fake.
information.
I meant fake information or disinformation.
Yes. Oh no, I knew that. I just
Yeah.
was trying to
Gotcha.
clarify. That's what you meant.
Good thing you're around, man. Otherwise, people wouldn't understand what the fuck I'm talking about.
I agree.
They don't need your help in not understanding.
All right, I give it a 3.5.
I give it a 4 because
I was leaning towards 4. I just, I love Fitzdog.
I'll give it a 3.75.
Hey, there we go. Right.
Strong. Love
nestled right in
Fitzy.
between there.
I do love
Fitzy. Yeah,
Fitzy.
he's great. It's fucking awesome. Salt of the earth.
Good dad.
That's it. That's the show. If you made it this far, thank you so much. A listener this week told me that I was terrible at pushing our product. And you know what? They're bang on. I am.
But no, we're taking that cool approach. Like, we don't care if anything happens.
It's
And-
been
and
pretty
don't know.
obvious
I
in the
actually-
results.
I actually don't know if
They
that's
will want to reward that.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's I think that's just who I am. I don't know if that's an angle I've decided to take. But either way, we do have a Patreon. And on that Patreon, once a month, you will get a show called This Won't Age Well. It's where we go back. We listen to old episodes of Joe. And we do what we do here. We just pick a random old episode. I'm trying to find a link, boys, for the Andy Dick episode because I've heard it's a fucking doozy and it's super uncomfortable. It's like it's in like the early
Well, I've definitely listened to it.
it's in like the pre-300s, I'm pretty sure, but you can't find it anymore.
It's one of the 100 that are gone.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find a link. And
There's
we're
a
gonna
whole website that has
I know.
all
So
those
once we find that,
100.
we'll all listen. That's the one for this month that I think we're going to do.
Andy Dick, nice.
So
Love
if
it.
you want to listen to that and older episodes, there's like 55 of them. You'll get that, and you'll also get the post show. In the post show, we just shoot the shit. We talk some non-Joe
We're going to
stuff.
talk about $600 million stolen. We're going to talk about Meghan Markle's pussy. We're going to talk
God.
about
Now we're gonna
dead
ta-
rapper. And we're going to talk about a man worth $24 billion who's going to give it all away.
Oh, the crypto billionaire, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll get all that. We talk non-Joe stuff. Sometimes we talk about stuff we missed. It's really just like, a different podcast from us that you get.
And a $3.9 million dress our government's buying.
Okay, there you go. And that's what you'll get on the Patreon. So sign up. You can do so for as little as $5 a month. It's patreon.com/JREE podcast. We also have a Twitter and an Instagram. They're at JREE podcast. You can follow Kamar on Instagram.
At Kamar Babar.
You can follow me on Instagram at Floydy, Floyd with 5 E's. I don't do shit on there, so I don't know why you'd follow me. We also have a YouTube. If you want to watch the show, it's youtube.com/JREE podcast. Why don't you slide over there, maybe hit the like button on something, subscribe. We post the show there. Hopefully this summer we're going to post a bunch of challenges, other shit, reaction videos, whatever I can convince Simon to do, which isn't a lot because he's got a shit attitude.
all of that is true, man.
Yeah, I know. And then, of course, there's a Reddit. It's r/JRE podcast. If you want to join in the conversation, head over there. And thank you, of course, to Fast Growing Trees and BetterHelp.com. Go check both of them out. There will be links in the description. We want to thank them so much for sponsoring the show. That's it. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Be nice to trees. Keep your eyes open.